Hi everybody, how's it going today? It's Frankie here and I'm back with another video. As you can see, I got a nice shave, I got a nice cut up here. And yeah, so the topic I want to talk about is a topic that I don't think I've spoken about on this channel before, and if I have, I might well post up my third one. But this is pretty sensitive and a controversial topic that's probably been asked so many times, especially in that when you watch movies and shows and documentaries and stuff like that. And that topic is there life after death? Now, I know what people are going to say. I don't want to hear in the comments, oh, Frankie, this is grim. Why are you talking about this on this channel? First of all, this channel is mostly about sensitive opinions and topics. So I don't know what to tell you. It says in my description as well. It's also, it ties into every other topic I've spoken about in this. Mostly due to controversy. I mean, I could rename it and call it Frankie Nelson Controversy, which is probably more of a better title and better name. But I call it Opinions and Perspectives because it is also related to my opinions and perspectives on things. Third channel will probably be the mild opinions, on topics and stuff like that. There isn't like controversial like that. But yes, let me get straight onto it. Now, there's a few theories to this. Now when I watch movies and shows, whatever documentaries stuff like that, I always end up questioning what it's like, after you die, basically after you pass away. I know it's grim, but it's always curious, and it's quite scary to think about, because if you do pass, what exactly happens? Now, I'm acting as if I've died and come back to life. I haven't. That's never happened to me, but I'm saying in general terms, it kind of makes me curious. Like, sorry, that's just me kicking something. But yeah, whatever happens, is that life? Now, for me, my opinion, I feel like for me, that basically what I view it as is, when you do pass, I feel like it's kind of like the world we're living in now, but it's just a spirit version where, without loads of people around, it's just you just walking around in like eternity, and you're getting lost in a world where you don't know anything about it, or where you come up against where you actually died at, and you just walk around and you think, oh, why is it all changed? Why is it all new? And maybe it's because I watch too many movies and shows. That's probably what makes me think like that. And they kind of got a good idea. It's kind of they always portray death to be out like that. So it kind of makes me think, is that how it actually is? We'll never know unless we actually go through it, right? And it does sound scary because you pass and you wake up in like everywhere's empty and you're wondering, where's everybody else gone? And you don't even know that you've passed, because you wake up and you're thinking, am I still alive? Oh, that was probably just something minor, I probably slipped or whatever it was. And you walk around and you're thinking, why is it empty? It's kind of nothingness, because you already died. You're already in a different universe right now where it's just nothing. Because you passed away, you're not going to come across things like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just, that's how basically I view it. And obviously ghosts don't get jobs or whatever, but if a person was to die on the job, the spirit will continue working, because in their world, they're still doing that. In their world, they still have to do their own job. Whereas in our world, we continue like normal. But this is also another thing. And not many people agree with me on this. You can have your own opinions and thoughts on it. It's hard for me to explain. This topic is a lot to explain. It's quite difficult to explain. So I'm trying my best not to get confused in my words here. But basically what I think is that the spirits obviously are intertwined in our world, obviously, because that's where they died. So they intertwine with it. But then they come across things that we can't, like portals or dimensions. They just go through things. They could probably even go in time, and they could even come across themselves, which is quite weird. I don't think they come across doppelgangers. Maybe they do. Maybe they see themselves before they die, and it's like they're trying to warn themselves. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that could also be a thing. But that explains why a lot of us can see spirits. I've never seen a spirit before. I don't think I want to. I'd be curious to know what spirit looks like. But that's why they come across, because they're intertwined. It's like they're trapped in their world that they passed away in. When we go visit their world, we can obviously enter it because we haven't passed away yet. we haven't entered that realm. Realm. Sorry, they haven't entered that realm, so to speak. So yeah, we haven't entered that, but they are already in that realm, and they're already like going through that doorways and pathways. It's almost like they basically can't get out. And it's like, imagine if that movie I watched. I don't know what made me think of this movie. There's also other movies like this. It's called Disquiet, and I did a review on it. My Frankie Nelson reviews. And obviously, it made me think of that movie where the guy is walking up in hospital. He got into an accident, and there's nothing there, and he's basically locked. So the hospital is basically just locked down. Well, that's how you would say it. There's only like a few people there. So those are the people that passed away in there. And that's because their spirit there, the realm has trapped them in. If you think about it, because they're already dead, how can they go any further from where they were? It wouldn't make any sense when they go further, but they travel through different dimensions. There's a difference. They can't necessarily leave there unless the portal is opened up for them, because that's only meant for spiritual purposes. Unless we do have devices where we can just go through portals and stuff out, but that's a different kind of portal. I talk about the spirit realm kind of thing. I think we can pretty much go through portals, but we have to actually open it and read like a chant or something like that, whatever you want to say, like a spell, whatever it is, and you can't enter their realm. I think you have to do it through like a pentagram, because a pentagram is like a symbol. It's kind of like a doorway where you enter that world. And once it's already been put on you, the spirits just come. Usually it's demons that are involved in that come and attack you. And that kind of explains why, because not many people believe in that sort of stuff, what I'm saying. So I know I'm ranting a little bit, bear with me, but that's why not a lot of people believe that, because they think, oh, demons are all rubbish what they do. Not necessarily. It actually does make sense, because the pentagram symbol does look kind of satanic and evil. And if it wasn't real, why on earth would you want to put that down anyway? What would be the purpose of it if there's no purpose to do that to begin with? And it's also on the floor, it can be on a wall as well. And yeah, so people always imagine it to be like, oh, you're dead and that's it. No, there obviously must be something that comes out of you, because you can't just die like that. You can't just walk on the ground. You're obviously going to have a spirit that comes out, from your body. You think about, like a cocoon, where it emerges and they just fly away like that. I think I'm talking about, it's a bit different. It's kind of butterflies, a caterpillar, when they I think cocoon or something like that, and a butterfly comes out. It's sort of similar to that, but your body is kind of, we all have spirits, so we just all rise up. If that was the case, then dreams wouldn't exist, because dreams is kind of like you're venturing through other realities, but inside your mind. So your mind is actually opening portals up that you believe are real, but isn't, because it's in your dreams. And I do believe there's some cases dreams is when your body comes out, that your spirit comes out your body and ventures around for a bit, kind of like sleep paralysis basically, but your spirit is rising up from your body. You just have a quick travel. So that's kind of like preparing yourself for death. It's like your body's training just before it passes. So your body, so that's why I think that's why dreams are there, not just because of what happens when you sleep, but I feel like it's preparing you for like what death could be like, and you obviously your body has to get trained for things, so your spirit is preparing. But obviously those type of dreams is a bit like, some dreams don't make sense, but the dreams that you remember, the dreams that are the ones that the significant ones, which is likely to happen, which is weird in any case, not in all those type of dreams. But yeah, you just rise out your body and you sort of venture. Not even you're going to remember, because you just wake up in your body anyway. So it's kind of like the Insidious movies where what's that dude called? I forgot the guy's name. He has like sleep paralysis or something, and he just wakes up and his spirit goes round and stuff like that. And yeah, that's usually how I describe it. That's usually similar, because if you're in your house and a spirit just comes knocking your door, it's actually their kind of realm, it's their world intertwining yours. When the spirit knocks on the door, you open it and you don't see the spirit, because the spirit is in their world and trying to open the door that you closed. It's very deep and complicated to explain and to understand, but once you get the hang of what I'm saying, you'll know what I mean. And also, it's kind of like when you see like a spirit or demon in front of you. It's kind of like they have a quick glance at, like, they quickly appear and they just go off, you know. And they're not really we're not maybe meant to be seeing them like that. So if our minds are seeing spirits, it kind of means our mind is open up like another like reality, or another like, or like a pathway, because it's like our minds are just like the pineal gland. I could just be trying rubbish at this part, but I'm just saying, it's a good theory to this, because this is, I just came with this now, but our pineal glands, basically the third eye here, not everyone's is open. There's only a few rare ones that have that pineal gland open where they can see like spirits or that. Where it's kind of works like how a light would, you know, when you, it's like when you're like, it's kind of like those games that you play on a console where there's like a light and like a torch, and you just flash a torch in the wall and it opens up a door. I feel like the pineal gland here is kind of like, it opens it, it's kind of like doing a different reality, that opening up like another realm or another dimension. That's why some people could be able to see things that we can't, because their ones work a bit more stronger, whereas our ones is more asleep. It's quite deep to understand, you know. Same with hearing voices. The spirits are communicating. It's like the spirits can see us, but we can't see them. So it's like they see us briefly, and they look and they try and talk to us, and we could just about hear them, and we get confused as where we can hear these voices. Not in every case, in most cases. It's not always a spirit communicating with the person. It could be someone that's a bit mad. But I'm just saying, I don't want to sound too biased. And another theory to this, and this is quite an interesting one. Now, this is tough. It would be tough for me to do it. So now, be tough for me to explain this one fully and what I think of this and how I came to this. But what if the spirit world is more of the realistic world, and we are actually the ghosts and spirits, trying to, like, you know, have our own world and have our own, you know, our minds open up a new world here, and we just perceive this as like the reality. Whereas the spirit world, you got to think the spirits are treating us like we're the spirits, because we can only see, you know, if you saw a spirit, we only see the spirit briefly and it disappears. Whereas the spirits see us. It's the same situation, right? We walk into one room, they don't see us like that. I don't know, maybe it's just how it is, maybe. That's what I think anyway, but obviously 9 times out of 10, obviously the spirit sees us more because they're dead and they roam around, so they see us a lot more because we're not dead. But that's what I genuinely believe. You got to think as well, when people do pass, the spirit remains at like the place they died at, and the place could be, this could also be a thing too. When you look into a mirror, it's like a portal, because a mirror, you're staring into something that you're hoping you'd see that's different, maybe, or you might see somebody ordinary. Excuse me, there are 2 burps there. Well, have to be polite. And yeah, and you're seeing things that, you know, you think are out of the ordinary, whatever. But some people have the ability, like psychic people, especially mediums, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call them, they can look into a mirror and see like another dimension, or see a different reality. And sometimes mirrors you can probably look at a mirror and just be in another, like, how the house used to look 20, 30 years ago before that person passed away in it. It's kind of deep. I've watched all these type of shows, and it makes me have different theories and different perspectives on it, and it is quite scary. I'm gonna say, to be fair, it's a bit weird to say. I mean, I understand why people are scared and afraid of death, because you don't know what's gonna happen. But at the same time, I don't think death is how people make it out to be. I do think there's probably parts of death where it's going to be grim. I don't believe there's a heaven and hell whatsoever. That's just rubbish. Like, you mean to tell me there's like a place of good and bad spirits? Like, come on, man. They're spirits. They're gonna wander off. Nothing's gonna harm them. If anything, if it's evil spirits, they'll just get tortured and do what they want to do. Continue, you know. Do what, you know. They're gonna be. Stuff is gonna be done to them like they're done to other people. You know, that they'll be put in that eternity, but it's not a heaven and hell. You know, in most cases, they'll probably just be getting tortured themselves or whatever. But in normal cases, if that was the case, then why would demons easily come to us if we was to, you know, try and contact them, trying to like open up a portal for them? How is that even possible? There's like a hell. If there's a hell, sure they would be trapped in hell, wouldn't they? I mean, that would make sense, wouldn't it? But yeah, they wouldn't. They would just die up and got off from their body. It makes more logical sense. You know, what about heaven? Oh, so you tell me there's something in the clouds and it's heaven. Heaven is not what people think it is. But from the religious side, it's not what people think it is. Heaven, I think heaven could be. I don't know what heaven could imagine could be like. I think heaven is completely different to what people make it out to be. I thought what people think is hell is probably the part where spirits are trapped. But when spirits are free, that's probably the heavenly part of things. Because it does feel heavenly. You being free, you walking around and stuff like that. I thought that's heavenly. But to say heaven and hell, people have just got the wrong idea of it. It's all been made up. It's been proven by priests and other religious scholars. So it's not realistic, right? It's not real. That's just what you're going to segregate spirits. That doesn't make quite much sense. And people can say, oh, you can harm spirits. To be honest, the only way a spirit would get harmed is I mean, not holy water. Holy water is just like not normal water. They just named holy in front of it. But yeah, I think salt usually stops spirits. I don't know what it is about salt. Usually, why would spirits be afraid of salt? But I feel like what if salt is like the gateway? What if it opens like a gateway for them? Because remember, salt has a certain frequency to it as well. Bear that in mind. I mean, I've seen a video of like where somebody put salt on the table and it just made shapes. I don't know if that's real or fake, I'm not sure. But salt must have a frequency if you have to put salt down after every ritual and seance you do. Because that stops the spirits from entering your world. Or that stops the spirits from going anywhere towards you. And if that gets moved, that's it, you're done for. So, yeah. you don't be messing around with that. And yeah, I don't know where it is. Maybe it's a frequency where it stops them. But they'll be going, I'm pretty sure. Then I think it's probably just like a doorway. That's what I think it is. I don't think it's because I've seen, there's obviously games that they portray this where it's like a portal. I don't think so. I think it's like a doorway that looks like a portal from our side, but it's probably a doorway to them. And once we enter it, they know that we're there. We just have to go back into that doorway, and they can't get us from there. Look, there's so much more theories to this. It's like if you communicate with spirits, they talk to you. Now, I do believe they can see us briefly for here and there. I do think they treat us like we're the spirits. It's like if you enter like an abandoned home, and the people that died in there, the people that died there are still haunting around the place. They're obviously gonna feel like attacked. And they're going to feel like that they've been invaded because bear in mind, these abandoned homes, there were spirits that lived there. So bear in mind, it's almost like we're still invading them. It's like we're breaking in. Well, not we, because I don't do that, but I've seen YouTubers break into abandoned and haunted places. They break in, and it's kind of, that's what it is. I know it's abandoned and stuff like that. They're not really meant to be going to these places because it's dangerous and some of them's got security. I look at it, I'm thinking, they're obviously going to be angry at you. If someone's attacking them, it's probably not going to be a demon. It's probably the spirit that passed away though. But passed away, what? There'll be spirits that passed away there. And you gotta think there's also child spirits, and they're afraid. I know it's about child spirits. They seem to be afraid of the dark a lot, and I can see why, because they're kids. They're going to be afraid of the dark. Right, looking around and stuff like that. It's obviously going to scare them. Bear in mind, there may be spirits, but it doesn't make them braver. They're so scared to do certain things because it's how they were before they died. And, they would obviously going to attack the people that are coming in to explore. So, it could be like 4 or 5 people live in the house. And the reason why people that have visited these abandoned haunted places get attacked or get feel dizzy or whatever is because the spirit's trying to get them out and warn them that you've got to leave. That's what they say, please leave on the ghost, the ghost reading, the ghost voice, the EMF, whatever it's called, right? The ghost box, I'm just going to call it. No, I forgot the name. And yeah, I've been watching a lot more Sarge. I've watched a bit of Ouija Brothers. Ouija Brothers is slightly realistic. Most of these slightly acted, but I do think there's 1 or 2 parts of his videos that are probably real somewhere. But the rest of it, I think, is probably he's overdoing it. But it doesn't mean that doesn't happen. Don't get me wrong, these things can happen. It's just you have to really make sure you get lucky. I mean, most of the time, if I was doing that, I kind of wish nothing would happen, so that I don't get affected or hurt. But yeah, that's why when Mo Sardi does it, it might not be real, but spirits do that where they say, oh, please leave. They're saying please leave because they feel invaded. Obviously 9 times out of 10 it could be a demon in that. I could understand. Demons can come to these abandoned places, and bear in mind, just because they're dead, it doesn't say mean they can't fight and attack each other. They could hurt each other, but then it won't affect it because they're dead. So, yeah, they're trapped in the same cycle and they just can't leave. In some cases, when they do travel, that's the time they do end up leaving and going somewhere else. So it's quite tough to actually explain that as well, how that would work like that. But I think I explained it enough. But yeah, look, not all abandoned places have spirits in them. It's with asylums. That's why it's like, I feel like the spirits, I feel sorry for spirits that have died in a way where they can't get out of where they died from. You know, say for example, if someone hanged themselves, the person that hanged themselves, their spirit obviously can't leave because they just hanged themselves. Their head is basically stuck in a rope. I mean, not all the time. I've heard there's been 1 or 2 cases like that where someone comes across a spirit that's hanged themselves, but they're still walking around. But most of the time, if someone was like, you know, nailing your whole body to like a wall or shooting your head or something or whatever it is, I don't think you would want. I mean, I don't think you'd be able to leave. You know, in that case, or if someone stuck a knife in like somebody's head or whatever, and you know or someone like got speared or something, or whatever type or however they died, they're gonna be stuck there because they literally won't be able to move at all. You know, so their death would depend on how they are in that sort of realm or that sort of dimensional. I would say reality, but it's not really reality, is it? Because it's just death. But I'm gonna say their reality, their world, basically, if you want whatever you want to call it. That's how I perceive it. Right? That's my opinion on it. No, it's your choice how you want to take this. How you want to take this theory and opinion. But for me, I'm getting on the right track. A good rough idea to it. Yeah. So basically, that's it. I think that's a rough explanation on it. And also, we don't actually know if they actually see aliens. That's another thing. We don't actually know if these spirits probably do come in contact with aliens, basically, and they just, you know, probably communicate with them. But another theory to that, I'm gonna remember to put this on the video. This is one bang theory I got. What if, like, I do believe people have expiration dates, right? So when people die, it's because they're meant to die at that moment. Their timeline can't continue. And this may be going a bit off topic, but you know what, I'll mention the video anyway, because it's still related to the whole topic of death and stuff. What if when people die, it's actually the aliens that are just taking us off a monitor or machine, just like do it the Matrix, where like Neo, whoever is in trouble, they have to they have to unplug them for that immediately, just in case something's happening, because it's a a different reality they're getting involved in there with. So that's what I feel like it is. When people just die like it's also like, oh, they couldn't handle, or the body couldn't handle it, or maybe they're not, I don't know, right, what people would say or come up with. I do think it's to do with, like, people have expiration that I do think it's to do with, like, because we could all be on spaceships and aliens just unplug us and think, okay, this person's not necessarily that worth it anymore, so we're just gonna actually just like unplug them from that world and slash reality, and then they pick somebody else for that spot. So it's kind of we're a game in this source. I don't know if we're in a simulation. I do partly believe in that, but that could be for another video possibly. But yeah, look, that's my video. This video's gone for 24 minutes now, so look, I'm gonna end it here. I'm sorry there's no microphone. I didn't think it was a video for me to do a microphone. It would have been perfect for it, but I started recording this spot anyway. The next video I'll probably want my microphone out. I just love the look of it, right? I'm gonna have to use that more often now for the videos, because it's good design, because I can be a real podcaster. So yeah, look, listen, I have to really end this video now. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, comment, share, subscribe and hit the notification below. So I'll see you in my next video.